I just brought a small token of flowers. You know, it's nothing really, but it's just to tell them I love them and I appreciate the job they do for the city.
Mourning across the metro. Tonight, people are paying tribute to an officer killed in the line of duty.
Blaze Madrid Evans was honored during a candlelight vigil in Independence. At the same time, the officer is being remembered also in his hometown of Smithville.
KCTV5 has team coverage of the tributes. We begin with Betsy Webster, who was at tonight's candlelight vigil. Betsy?
Well, Brad, just in the past hour since we stepped away to put together our report, so many more candles have been added here below the fallen officers memorial. You know, I counted about 300, I'd say actually at least 300 people who turned out tonight. Many of them didn't even know Officer Blaze Madrid Evans, but as I started talking with people, it struck me how so many of them had some sort of connection.
And be with the families of the officers that continue to struggle.
They bowed their heads in prayer and held each other tight. It was civilians who organized the vigil, but there were first responders here from more than a dozen agencies. It was particularly painful for the staff at AMR, where Blaze Madrid Evans worked as an EMT before becoming a police officer. They laid candles beside the flowers beneath the fallen officer's memorial.
My dad was a responding officer on the call.
She came with her grandma, who heard about an officer shot, and of course,
I got on the phone immediately, and he answered immediately. Thank God. I don't know what I would have done if he hadn't.
That's the knowing that comes from the family of every officer, even if they don't know the pain of a family that's lost someone in the line of duty.
My mother was 11 when my grandfather was killed in the line of duty here in Independence, so this means a lot to our family.
His grandpa's name, Lieutenant David Kraxner, is on the memorial wall, killed October 31st, 1966. Just 5 names, soon to be 6.
My heart just breaks for the family, and although I'm pretty upset about it, I'm just thankful that my dad came out of it safe, and I know he's pretty shaken up about it. He's not here tonight, but I just wanted to come out here and show support for my family and the police department.
It's just been a terrible few days here, and I pray for all the officers that are out there on the streets.
By the way, you probably heard those sirens continuing to work tonight. Officer Madrid Evans's family was also here. We did not speak with them, but I have no doubt that they felt the love. Live in Independence, Missouri, Betsy Webster, KCTV5 News.
Well, we do feel for them this evening for sure. Betsy, thank you for that. And those tributes to Officer Madrid Evans have been pouring in all throughout the day. KCTV5 cameras spotted several people dropping off flowers at the Independence Police Memorial earlier this morning. One mom used this tragedy as a teaching moment for her 3 kids.
He just seems like a young kid and just trying to do his job, and it just kind of hurt our hearts. So we came out here and we were trying to explain to our kids what it meant, and it's just something we thought we should do. You know, the city rallying behind, his family and this department.
And also tonight, Officer Madrid Evans is still saving lives. He was an organ donor. His gift will help save other lives now. We've also learned that he was engaged to be married.
Independence isn't alone in its grief. Tonight, there are a lot of people mourning in Smithville. That's where Officer Madrid Evans was from. KCTV5's Nathan Vickers continues our team coverage, and he shares stories from that heartbroken community.
Blaze Madrid Evans graduated from Smithville High School and was part of the Northland CAPS program. Today was a difficult one for those who watched him grow into a kind-hearted young man. For the faculty and staff at Smithville High School, there was nothing surprising about Blaze Madrid Evans pursuing a career as a police officer.
He had one of those hearts that he genuinely loved the people around him.
He did have such a servant heart, and I could tell he would want to help people.
Jennifer Robinson is a counselor at Smithville. Stacy Sapp sponsored the Interact Club Blaze was a member of.
This one is the one that I love the most.
They shared their pictures and memories of the young man, volunteering at nursing homes and other places in the community.
That was his favorite, was sitting with the residents and visiting and helping them play bingo.
As he finished up school, he worked for Dan Uladal at Chops Barbecue.
For quite a while there, he was one of my #1 guys working the line.
Uladal used to work in law enforcement. He says Madrid Evans had always talked about pursuing a career in public service.
I was proud of him, and I knew he was going to do well, whatever he whatever he wanted to do, he was going to be the best he could be at it.
He, his staff, and many others around Smithville are feeling a great loss tonight.
Definitely a somber tone around here. He was a good friend.
The hope was that he was going to pull through, and so it was a shock to wake up this morning and read that updated statement. And so I think everybody's just kind of in shock.
It's awful. I thought immediately of his sister, his younger sister, of his mom, who I both know them, and there's just nothing worse.
Nothing worse than losing a kind-hearted young man to violence.
I'm just proud of him, and I'm just sad this happened. It's awful.
Something else people told us today is that they expect Smithville to rally around Madrid Evans and his family to support them however they need it. Nathan Vickers, KCTV 5 News.
Tonight, there's a lot of people asking how they can help the officer and the family he's left behind. There are two ways to give. The Independence Police Foundation is collecting donations. They hope to raise $10,000. You can give at ipdfoundation.org. And all Price Chopper stores will also be collecting donations at checkout through Friday the 24th.
Now, the man who shot Officer Madrid Evans has quite a past. These are Cody Harrison's mug shots. Just 2 weeks ago, Harrison was arrested with a gun, even though he can't have one because he is a felon. Well, that should have meant 3 to 10-year prison sentence. Instead, he was released from jail. Jackson County Prosecutor Jean Peters Baker says she did not get a probable cause statement until September 9th. Harrison was also arrested in January for burglary and stealing, but didn't show up for court. So at the time of the shooting, there was an open warrant out for Harrison as well. Court records indicate that he was also wanted for a parole violation.